read Just Friends by Haley Pham. People online have been pretty vocal about this book the last couple of months since it came out, and there's been a lot of hate and criticism regarding it, some of which, after reading it, I do feel is warranted. I know that a lot of the criticism that came from this is just that the writing feels very middle grade, the writing feels very forced, the writing style feels forced, and that the only reason that this book got published is because Haley Pham is an influencer, and kind of that it's unfair for people who might want to break out into the industry who don't have that kind of influence behind them, and that really the only reason she got published was because she had too many followers. In the first half of the book, it feels like the story and the writing style she hasn't quite settled into, and it feels very jilted and very forced at times. There's a couple of phrases from the book that I'm sure you've heard if you've listened to any reviews of this book already. The feeling is personified in my stomach. I have to yield to a conglomerate of pedestrians. That one I've heard over and over. It's even all throughout the comments of Haley Pham's posts, which I feel like is a little bit too far, a little bit unnecessary. I get why it doesn't work. A conglomerate doesn't work in this sentence, but I also see what she's trying to do. And there are times when it works. When she says, usually pulling into the smooth cobblestone driveway of Aunt Lottie's house feels like exhaling. Today, it feels like forgetting how to breathe. I think that's a nice way of describing that. I actually like that line. So sometimes the writing style works. It's just that there's so many metaphors on each page that it's hard to get into the story because you feel like you're taken out of it with the way that certain things are written. I was going to give this book 3 stars, but there was a part right in one of the last 2 chapters that just kind of didn't work for me, which is because the character in the book is very Haley Pham's self-insert. It's pretty obvious throughout. She has black hair and curtain bangs, and she's also writing a book, and so she's talking with the love interest about finishing the book, and then this is right at the end of the book, and he's like, you still haven't finished an ending, and let's think of a good one. And then they're like, what? Help me think of a line. He's like, yeah, every book needs a great last line. And then she's like, okay, then give it to me. What do you got? And then he's like thinking about it, and then at the end of the chapter, it's like, being his feels like coming home. And it just, I know what she's trying to do. It just doesn't work for me personally. I do think that people have been a little bit too hateful about this book. I feel bad for her because it's not terrible. If I was more of a romance person, maybe I would have given it 3 stars. For me, it's a 2.5, but I am actually curious to see. I know she's working on her second book right now. I would be really interested to see if she hears the at least constructive parts of the criticism, and if maybe her writing style develops into something a little bit more established for that.